Well, while Hugh's just rolling a cigarette, this seems like a good time to give a content warning for this particular project. There may be some effing and jeffing, some coarse language that the young ones might not want to hear.
I think it's time for you to start to seriously consider salads.
What do you mean?
What do I mean? I mean, get off my car before you flip it over, you fat fuck.
I don't like food. I love it. Keep feeding. Lunches, time to eat. Yo, I know the perfect meal for you.
Come down to eat.
Jesus Christ, is that all you people do? The lunch we had with Jim and Woodchip.
Good evening.
Welcome to episode 7.
7 of the Daily Dine, halfway through.
Halfway, yeah, this is the halfway mark,
Yeah.
which is nuts.
It's gone by quickly for me. Not that I expected it wouldn't. It's not like we're putting ourselves through any tough challenge. I just air quoted, but
It's also, but it has been fairly, I don't want to say tough because it's really not.
it's been tiring.
It's been tiring, it's been a bit tricky. Coordination going into the planning and
Yeah, a lot of travelling
yeah,
on the whole.
a lot of travelling. I wonder how many miles we've put down already.
Don't know. A couple of hundred? Or is that quite?
I mean, probably.
A couple of 100 miles?
It's Winchester and this. It's an hour each way.
Yeah, and although less miles, Duke of Cumberland Arms wasn't close by any means.
Where did we go tonight, Hudson?
We went to Royal Tunbridge Wells, which was in Kent.
Yes.
First time I've ever been. I was saying to you in the car, I've only been to Kent a handful of times. It's so close, and I really...
Yeah, we're on the outskirts. Garden of England, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, we were on the outskirts of Tunbridge Wells and
As well, yeah.
Yeah.
Really don't know Kent.
pretty far west in Kent. Kent's really massive.
Went to a restaurant called Thackeray's,
Yeah.
is how we think it's pronounced,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be French high cuisine.
Yeah, and I had high hopes.
I had really high hopes as well.
It looked really good.
Highly rated as well,
Yeah, well,
from the brief look online.
3 Rosettes from the AA, it's Michelin Plate, and it from the outside, it looked like a really nice building.
Yeah,
kind of going up and being seated.
So when we walked into the restaurant,
Oh, yeah.
they were temp checking everyone, which is fine, like, of course. And yeah, the initial walk through, I was like, yeah, this is a classy joint. And I was like, this is nice. So that it's 2 floors, and we got seated on the first floor. What were your initial thoughts on the table and the seating and the room we were in?
The room was fine. I wasn't a huge fan of the decor. They had a really tacky looking feature wall,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're by a fireplace that didn't have fire in it. So
No,
it's
it
a
was
bit-
just stacked up with logs
Yeah.
that I imagine don't get used.
seems a shame to not utilise a fireplace, but God knows if it's even still functional.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it was alright.
So it was quite...
Bit of a dumb table, but
The table, it was fine. It was fine, but it wasn't great.
but basically, like the whole area above the table that was like the top of the table.
As you will.
I would. Basically covered the same area as like the bottom plate.
Yeah.
So there was like an inch and a half at the bottom that I had to like rest my feet on.
So you noticed that. I did not notice that.
I was
but-
trying to bring my feet forward from like behind, like under my chair, and it was just like, why is it all leg?
Again, with the seating, so upstairs, listen, we've all been to restaurants and had a good time and been loud and
Oh yeah, they
boisterous, but the room we were in was very loud. It was very loud.
looked us up and down and put us in with the
Yeah,
scumbags.
yeah.
But I don't want to speak too ill of them on the internet because they might stab us.
No, they were just having a
No,
good
they
time.
were.
We've all been there. We've
Yeah,
all been
yeah,
there.
for sure.
And as you said, that's probably us every time in Sorrel. Just loud, obnoxious, and fucking pissed.
Pissed, yeah.
Yeah. It was quite loud for just 2 people sitting there.
It was that lady's birthday, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
fair's fair.
There were no qualms with it. It was just loud. It was just a loud dining experience. So my initial reaction was I was a bit taken back from the accolades it's got.
Yeah.
So it just felt like standard restaurant. It didn't feel special from
No,
the
with
seating.
the decor.
It felt a bit tacky and a bit
I'm not sure I'd go that far,
tacky. Maybe that's not.
but yeah, tacky light.
Yeah. Whereas the downstairs was beautiful. We walked through to leave. The downstairs dining rooms on both sides, so it's like a hallway that splits them. They looked really, really nice. And
Yeah.
more of your cut from the same cloth as a Michelin restaurant than the upstairs, in my opinion. I didn't have high hopes when we initially sat down.
No, I disagree. I think hopes started to dwindle when you had your aperitif.
Yes. Okay. Good point.
I was still like well up for the food. It's like, yeah, so what, they're being a bit loud. Not necessarily decorative, but...
Okay, good point.
What did you have for your aperitif?
So I went for a cocktail. So I wasn't driving again. Let's not get into that. And I had a Carole sour, which is a whiskey sour, and it wasn't very good. So when you have a cocktail with an egg white, generally there's quite a nice foamy top.
Really thick foam.
Yeah, thick foam on top, and really nice mouthfeel, which this cocktail just didn't have. The foam
weak,
was like
bubbly foam.
Bubbly.
And it tasted like arse. I know the sip, but it tasted like arse.
It was like...
I don't know what it's meant to taste like, to be fair.
It wasn't nice, man. It wasn't a good cocktail by any standard. What did you have initially?
Beer.
Yeah.
Pale ale.
So then I was a bit like, well, they shake a shit cocktail, but
We're here for the food.
we're here for the food, so fine. The menu looked decent.
Yeah, we were struggling what to pick.
Mm-hmm.
We went with the a la carte. We were kind of tempted by the tasting menus, but both
Glad I
tasting
didn't in the
menus...
end.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, it would have been a bit cheaper. Both tasting menus had steak as the main dish, which I wasn't really feeling tonight.
No,
so
I wasn't feeling steak, no.
Went for the a la carte. Got a nice little amuse-bouche.
Yeah, the amuse-bouche was...
It was quite nice. It was like a weird little beef pâté.
It was fucking huge as well.
With like kind of like pickled tomatoes and
some sour, creamy.
Yeah, and it was quite nice.
With some like tender beef. I thought it was really nice.
Didn't knock my socks.
So they bought the amuse-bouche and the bread.
Fucking loaf of
A
soda
fucking
bread.
massive loaf of soda bread between two of us.
With like a salted butter and a Marmite butter.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
The butter was the best bit of that whole experience, I think. The butter was really nice, I thought.
Bread was warm.
Yeah,
Which is good.
yeah. So the little amuse-bouche thing, which was not little, it was huge, but it was fine. It was good, actually.
It was good.
Yeah.
Again, it didn't knock my socks off.
No.
Having looked at the menu, having just ordered our starters and mains, so that's what that's there for, you know.
Yeah, and that did sort of... I was like, okay, they know what they're doing. Did you feel it was a bit clunky when they put it all down? Or is this me being too picky?
Well, yeah, it's a tiny table, and they had these massive plates that were like too big for it.
Yeah, so it was
like
all a bit clunky, and they kept
badly planned.
We kept moving stuff, they kept moving stuff, and it was all huge. This is me being very pernickety. It was all a bit clunky, the service in general. We had one waiter which was very nice. He was a cool guy.
Yeah.
I had a good chat with him. But the other waiting staff, I was expecting seamless sort of waiting, and it just wasn't that.
It wasn't. It was fast and good enough. But
Yeah,
as I said,
yeah.
it was like the waiters don't get to choose these ridiculous massive plates or the tiny tables. You know, that's just what they have to deal with.
Yeah.
And the starter came quite quickly.
All the food came quite
So
quickly.
pretty much as soon as we finished the breads,
Yeah.
they walked in with the starters.
Yeah, which was nice actually, because I was hungry. And what did you order?
I had Orkney scallops with set mushrooms and Parmesan orzo, English birch syrup and Pinoy braised celery. Don't remember that. Don't remember
idea
that.
what that is, no.
Scallops with orzo and a nice kind of cheesy sauce.
Yeah, the pastery orzo bit was risotto-esque, wasn't it? In my opinion, not too dissimilar.
I think
don't
it
you
was way saucier than a risotto.
Uh,
And I did quite enjoy that. It was a good start. The scallops were well done. I mean, I'm a slut for mushrooms, so everything with mushrooms in it was good, and there was a nice little set mushroom. And the orzo and the, what was it, like birch syrup? It sounded more promising than it was. It was nice, and I enjoyed it. Didn't blow me away. Didn't like really get me going.
No.
And it came in a bowl.
Fucking hell, this bowl was...
It was like a foot high.
Imagine like a plant pot.
And they gave me like a knife and fork, fair enough. I could have done with a spoon.
Yeah.
Really. Actually, I could have asked, I suppose. But it was a very steep angled. Yeah, so it's just like a plant pot.
Yeah.
So I'm like struggling to get into it.
Yeah,
To eat the food. But the scallops were really well cooked.
Yeah, they were nice.
And I enjoyed that.
Your whole dish, I think, when you gave me a little taste, was very warming and it was very pleasant to eat. It was, a good dish. I thought that the whole orzo-y cheesiness overpowered the scallops. I didn't feel like the scallops shined, but they were very well cooked. They were really well cooked.
Yeah, I think I had quite a lot of scallop to orzo ratio, and then just like finished off the orzo. So I was enjoying the scallops.
Yeah,
and
I did.
Kind of waiting for the orzo, and it was
that,
good.
yeah.
What did you have, Hudson?
I had, in my opinion, the dish of the day.
Yeah.
Have we agreed on that? Yeah. So there was a lot of... The menu sounds really good. It took quite a lot of time for us to decide. But in the end, roast duck breast with spiced oat and treacle cake, roast pumpkin, toasted seeds, confit leg, and pickled mushrooms. And when they put that on the table and
looked beautiful,
put the sauce on, I was like, right, we're in for like some serious food here. It looked stunning, and it was really, really good. The duck was beautiful. Really, it really was. It's up there, I think, with my duck dishes.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, which I'm happy about. Beautifully cooked duck, and the little confit leg. It came as like a separate square with all the pumpkin and mushrooms. Was just a pleasure to eat as well. So yeah, dish of the day.
Hands down.
I would definitely get that again. That
Yeah.
dish for sure. And that really set the tone for me. I was like, right, okay, there's going to be some serious dishes going on. And then, unfortunately, it's sort of...
Well, what did you have for your main? Let's get into it.
So I had...
So, was it turbot?
There was a bit of umming and ahhing about the main, because we
Yeah.
both eyed up what you had, but we agreed on other dishes. So I went for the Cornish turbot with saffron poached bolotti beans, miso glazed heritage carrots, and coriander yoghurt. When the dish came out, and again, we didn't wait long at all, did we? Oh, sorry, can I say something about my starter?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I was a little bit peeved. I'd obviously finished my cocktail, so I was going to order a glass of red for my starter with the duck, and then a glass of white for my main. And then there was just no opportunity for me to get a glass of wine.
Yeah, it was a bit rubbish, isn't it?
That is a bit rubbish. And so I was sitting there, sort of going to try and get a waiter, and then just didn't. So I just had water with my starter. Oh dear.
Delicious duck.
I wanted a glass of red, and that just didn't happen.
Which is pretty reasonable.
Yeah. So then when I wanted a glass of white for my main, I just thought, fuck it, I'll just get a beer. So just settled on beer for the main course. But anyway, that was a slight thing that again sort of annoyed me. So the main dish came, and it looked stunning. It looked really
They
good.
knew how to plate up the food.
Yeah.
All of the dishes looked good.
Yeah, really well.
Quite a big plate, but it looked very pretty on the massive plate.
All the portions were healthy sized, weren't they? Just fell flat, the whole dish. Unfortunately, style over substance for me. The turbot, which is a beautiful fish, was overcooked and a bit rubbery and not very pleasant to eat. The sauce that
It was like a...
they poured on top was indistinguishable. Don't know if it even added any flavour. It was not great. They were massive fans in that restaurant of finishing dishes at the table, weren't they? They loved a bit of that. So
yeah, well, it gave the air of class, I guess.
it gave the air of class and that type of restaurant, but the main did not deliver in that sense. And those bolotti beans, excuse my pronunciation, in the saffron, poached in saffron, and they kind of sucked. Didn't like the texture of them. They didn't lend well to the fish because both textures were just a bit minging.
Yeah, well, it's like overcooked fish with crunchy beans.
Yeah, exactly. There was some sort of puree going on, which again was didn't pack any sort of punch. The carrots had a little resistance going on. Touch, hard.
Well, undercooked.
Yeah,
So they
just
overcooked the fish and
a touch. That's
Sure.
again, this is me being very fussy.
The miso glaze sounded good there.
Yeah, I couldn't taste any miso. The best thing on the dish was the little pickled carrots.
Oh,
they had
yes,
these little
sure.
pickled carrots which were really well pickled and really nice. But unfortunately the dish kind of sucked. It was style over substance.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was the same for my venison saddle with pickled beetroot, wood sorrel, crab apple, haunch and juniper sausage, and cocoa nib jus.
Sounds fucking
dude.
banging on the menu.
Yeah, I was so hyped for that, particularly after Orange Piff Gate. We were saying, like, oh yeah, blackberry or apple with the thing, like a fruit. And obviously beetroot's quite sweet, so that worked. In theory, it should have worked well.
Yeah.
The venison was tough as old boots.
It was. It looked well cooked.
Yeah. Every restaurant we've been to so far, it's just been, you slide the knife through and like, it melts in your mouth. This was like, I started cutting and I was like, oh shit, I'm going to have to put my back into this, fucking hell. Like, okay.
God damn, you kept on cutting. I saw you going for it, yeah.
It came with like mash. It wasn't clear who the mash was for, so I took like half of it, and the mash was a bit weak.
I forgot about the mash.
Yeah, Hudson took one look at it. I was like, no.
I had a forkful, and it was grim. It was not good mash. Let's get on to the mash after, because I've got quite a lot to say about the mash.
So, I mean, how hard is it to fuck up pickled beetroot and crab apple? That's quite quite nice. The jus was pretty good.
Or was that the cocoa nib?
Yeah.
That sounds really nice, yeah.
That did work quite well. And the haunch and juniper sausage was good.
Yeah.
It was just a little thing, and it's like, I would rather have had 2 of those. They were very flavourful. They really
The sausage.
had a lot going on.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
That worked well with the apple, and the mash just about managed to soak up the jus, because nothing else there was like had any wasn't porous. It didn't soak up anything.
Yeah.
So
it's such a shame about that venison.
yeah, 30 quid as well. I was
£30.
peeved about spending £30 on something that was
Yeah.
not very good.
It wasn't.
Overall.
The main component of the dish was not good. When you gave me a bit of the venison, it was like chew. It was like a really chewy steak.
So I gave you some of the sausage with the beetroot and carrot, I think, and a bit of wood. What do you think of that?
Yeah, nice. The sausage was, as you said, very flavourable, extremely rich, but it was nice.
And I mean, I'm ordering venison. It's like I'm expecting gamey, rich flavours. I mean, that's why we ended up choosing our dishes. So I went for seafood to start. You went for the duck.
Duck.
So,
Yep.
yeah, but
'Tis the season for game.
no, not great. It had some saving features. I think it had more saving features than yours.
Was it
But,
pickled blackberries?
beetroot?
Pickled beetroot. How was that?
Yeah, it was right. Not amazing. Especially after that beetroot we had at Sorrel.
On the whole, we were both disappointed by our mains. What did you think of my main?
It was alright.
Yeah.
I haven't got as refined a palate as you, and I never cook fish, so I only have it cooked for me. So I didn't really get overcooked.
Yeah.
And again, like one mouthful. So it's hard to gauge, but it just didn't blow me away. And it's like all these things I'd love, like pumpkin and carrot and...
Exactly, yeah.
So I think by this point, with the shite cocktail, you were very unimpressed with the main. I was
Yeah.
disappointed by the venison. It says venison saddle, and then all the little bits on the side. So it's like,
It sounded amazing.
give
Really
me
did.
some delicious venison.
We were both battling for that dish, and we both compromised and had settled on other things. I'm glad I went for mine, even as much as I disliked mine. I think I would have been really quite peeved at that venison.
I kind of wish I went for the cod, though.
Yeah.
At least give that a try. Yeah, if
Yeah.
I take it all back, if one of us went for the steak and one of us went for the cod, I think we may have. Well, maybe not, maybe. I was going to say, they seem to struggle with red meat, but then your duck was good, so...
The duck was amazing, fucking amazing.
What do you have to say about this mash, then?
One quick thing about the mains.
Okay, yeah.
So because of the hefty portions as well, especially the fish
mine
wasn't
was
particularly flavourful. It was like mouthful after mouthful of stodge. So
Yeah.
you're just eating a stodgy meal
I
that
don't
looks
think
nice.
mine was particularly large portion. The mash definitely helps bulk it out.
Larger than you would usually get. I don't know. Do you?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, as I said, it wasn't a huge cut of venison.
We had a fucking loaf of bread
little
between
tiny
us as
sausage.
well.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Yeah, so this mash, they came out with the mash. Didn't say it on the menu, so I suppose it was supposed to be like a little, oh, here you go, like on on us, have a bit of mash. So I was like, okay, cool, like, nice. The mash fucking sucked, man. It really did suck. I think they were trying to... I could taste something in there, like thyme or something. So I think they'd done something nice to it. But I think it was supposed to be like a French sort of pomme puree, if you will. Which it just wasn't, because it was cold. Well, it wasn't hot. So it was cold, and it was just this mountain of cold potato.
Yeah, barely lukewarm.
Yeah, cold that's being harsh. It was like lukewarm. So this mountain of like lukewarm potato where you could just like taste the cream.
In a shitey little saucepan.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it sucked. Yeah. Fucking leave it in the kitchen, mate. It's been sitting there long enough.
Don't want it, yeah.
It felt like it was sitting in the kitchen for a while. So by this time, this was make or break time for Puds. We were going to order the interim cheese dish.
Yeah.
But by that time, we were like, fuck this.
Well, I even said I wouldn't be adverse to just paying up and leaving now.
Yeah, so Theo wanted to bail, but I was like, no, let's crack on, let's have the pudding. Because they did sound alright.
But so did the mains.
Yeah, well, yeah. So we ended up staying for pudding. I went for There wasn't much debate in this. We both knew what we wanted. I had the raspberry souffle with raspberry sorbet, caramelised white chocolate sauce. I thought it was a toffee sauce in the restaurant. And by ordering time, I was like, can we have that? Our coffees in the bill, please. Because I think we both just sort of had enough. So, shall I crack on with my
Yes, yeah.
raspberry?
You start with yours because it's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
I think I've ever seen a way to do it at a restaurant.
So I was So I was happy to get the souffle. I am a fan of a decent souffle. So they brought the souffle out, and again it was very art de la table, like finish everything off at the table and all old school French, which is fine. I love a bit of theatre.
Yeah, but what did you do, Hudson?
I love a bit of decent theatre.
You plonked it down in front of me.
So I got the souffle. I was like looking at the tray because the tray was like right by my face, so I was like eyeing up the tray. And the waitress was like, "Oh, don't look, don't ruin the surprise." Surprise, yeah.
Yeah, what's fucking a surprise?
Here's the surprise. So my souffle gets put down in front of me. The waiter gets a butter knife and uses the handle to like poke a hole in the middle. Quite blasé, so he like smashes this hole in the middle of my souffle.
I was like open mouthed, like what the fuck is going on? Like what? What just happened?
So usually it's all very, even if they don't usually do that. And then he poured this fucking molten hot white chocolate sauce in the middle, and then he like fucking spooned the quenelle of sorbet in and like destroyed my souffle. He like
Flopped out.
He like murked up my souffle, so it was all like broken round like the side that was facing me, and it was just like what the fuck. Because normally you're supposed to like very delicately drop it in the middle, so it's all like, and he just fucking murked this souffle basically.
And then he spat in it.
He like stabbed it and then just smashed some sorbet into it. So
Plonk it on the table, stab.
yeah. So we were both like, right, whatever. And the raspberry souffle itself was actually quite nice. As far as souffles go, it was nice. But when he fucking stabbed it with the handle of the knife, we were both expecting it to like
Deflate
in front of our eyes.
Because he did it with such vigour. It's like
Yeah.
a fucking souffle.
Yeah. But yeah, so the souffle itself was nice. The raspberry sorbet was nice. But as you said, in a restaurant with 3 rosettes, they shouldn't be fucking that up. But the combined, my God, it was, with the white chocolate sauce, it was overbearing. And the white chocolate sauce was fucking hot as well. So it wasn't nice. The combinations weren't that nice. And it was too sweet, which people will think doy, like ordering a souffle.
Yeah.
But with the white chocolate, it was too much.
It's when you poured the white chocolate in as well.
Yeah.
The souffle kind of like raised.
Yeah, I guess the heat of it made it like
Flopped up.
souffle a
Because it
bit
just
more.
filled up the
or
bottom.
something.
'Cause that's the
Yeah.
thing, you didn't even get to enjoy any of the white chocolate sauce.
No,
It was all
so
just sitting at the bottom.
I finished the souffle, got to that white chocolate sauce, had a little bit, and I was like, I just don't want molten hot white chocolate sauce, thanks. Like, so yeah, it kind of sucked. What did you have? Your dish looks nice.
So I had pear and honey. That's the title. Pear and yogurt parfait, dill sponge. So that's the sponge. That was the cakey bit.
Dill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matterfield honey, which is like a local honey. Grappa poached pear and pistachio. No, literally 2 pistachios. They were like candy pistachios. They're quite nice, but there's like 2 of them. Came on the biggest plate of the evening
Fucking huge.
and took up about 20% of it.
Yeah.
And obviously they placed the bit with the food like near me.
Towards
So
you,
yeah,
yeah.
But the food just took
Near you. It was kind of near.
yeah, I had to pop on my hiking boots to walk across the plate.
So, before you get into the flavours and all that, I'm not a fan of mincing all the food onto one side of a plate. Just put it in the middle or something. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
give me a
like-
sensory sized plate.
All that, yeah.
And I wasn't a huge fan of the sponge, but I'm not a cake kind of guy
No.
at all.
That's why you went for that, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Poached pears were very nice. Didn't really, could have done with a bit more honey, maybe, but then it was kind of sweet enough with the parfait and the, I don't know, because there was like a cylinder of ice creamy kind of stuff, and then another breaded with cake crumbs, little cone of actual ice cream. I'm not sure what that was, but and it had a nice like pear puree underneath the cylinder of creme fraiche type shit.
Mm.
And then, again with the table theatre, they drizzle the honey in front of you,
Yeah.
and you gave it like a vigorous flick with a little honeycomb thing on the last bit. And I was like, mate, it's honey. It's
Yeah,
far
yeah.
too viscous for that. And it's quite nice. I tried a little bit of cake and murked that off.
You weren't a fan of that at all, were you?
No,
I
but
don't think I tried the cake.
the rest was white. Again, very sweet.
Fucking tons of the stuff as well, again.
Yeah.
Again with the portion sizes. No?
You reckon? Maybe it just looked small, given the
Yeah.
massive fucking plate. Yeah, I left the restaurant full, so...
Very full. I was really full.
I think you may have just had bigger portions than me. You just happened to order the stuff that had
Maybe.
more on the plate.
Yeah, yeah.
I left full, but not like...
Because I said to you, didn't I? I was like, as full as after the Das Dance, which is full.
But
So
it's like a mini... The bread proved it the long way for that as well. Because we had so much at distance.
yeah. Yeah, but we ordered, so our coffees did come at, again, nice pace after the pudding because we ordered them at the same time.
Yeah.
I went for the obligatory Irish coffee and we got our petit fours. The Irish coffee came in a wine glass again.
Fucking... I don't know what it is with fine dining establishments.
Obviously there's something I'm missing, but that's fine. So I was looking forward to it though. I was like,
And
okay.
it looked similar to the Sorrel one.
But yeah, so a decent Irish coffee is coffee, doy.
Apologies for the change in acoustics, but we just had to finish this bad boy off in another room.
So yeah, where were we? The Irish coffee.
Decent Irish coffee.
Decent Irish coffee. It's supposed to be a nice coffee with a hint of whiskey.
Yeah.
This was the other way round. It was like a whole big cup of whiskey. It was so strong. It was too strong.
Yeah, I had a sip. Easily half and half.
Yeah, it must have been a double. I have no other explanation.
Yeah.
Or the coffee's weak as shit, or the whiskey's just cheap and obnoxiously strong.
Although looking at the whiskey list, they don't have any rubbish whiskies per se.
No. But for $12.50, I was expecting brilliance. It was £12.50. So
Yeah.
double the price of Das Dance, over double the price of some of the other places we've been.
Yeah. But it's also, it was an expensive menu. We weren't expecting to walk out of there with heavy wallets.
More expensive than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, the cheapest whiskey I've got on there is Great King Street, which I've never heard of. A Glasgow blend, apparently. But it's like a decent selection of whiskies. I'm not much of a whiskey man, but I know
No,
some of them have good rep.
But you rated your coffee. You thought it was alright, didn't you?
It's right.
Just good. Yeah.
It's better than... where was the place that had nasty coffee? Probably ones when I was driving. I can't remember. Listen to the previous 6 episodes and find out.
And the petit fours came, and they were nothing to write home about.
They were minging, man.
So usually I like a macaroon,
Yeah.
but they just weren't nice. And by that
That was
time,
good.
I was like forcing myself to eat it.
Yeah, you finished yours. I
I forced it down.
had
Yeah.
half. Like literally a bite. I was like, nah.
Yeah. And the Madeleines,
Madeleines.
like they were like blueberry Madeleines. They were all right actually. But you're not a cakey person.
Yeah,
So.
I really liked. Sweetness quota had been filled by that pudding. I didn't try it. It came with like an apple sauce, which was weird because it came like a. Yeah, I don't know.
Which we just left the applesauce on the table.
Yeah, I tried a little bit. It was all right applesauce.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with it. I had the blueberry out of the because it was like one blueberry baked into the madeleine.
Yeah.
So I had the blueberry. So all in all, disappointing. I would say.
Very.
I had high hopes, particularly when we went in there,
Mm.
and my hopes were slowly but surely dashed throughout the meal, which really came to sting when the bill came.
Yeah, holy shit. That is not the type of money I want to be paying for that.
So how much did the bill come to, Hudson?
It was £175.44.
Yeah,
Serious business.
we didn't remove the service charge
No.
because the service was good.
The waiter of that area, he was a nice guy.
Yeah,
And he
had a
chatted
nice
with us.
chatting
And
about washes, and he seemed to have like all right banter.
yeah.
That was a bit awkward. When
Oh god, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
as we finished our mains,
yeah.
and he was like, "So is the food all right?" And we sat there in silence.
We just didn't
Because
answer.
I was working the courage up to be like, it wasn't great. But he was like, "Oh yeah, is the food all right? Or you're not just being nice, are you?"
That was it. Yeah, that was it. And we were like, "Trust me, bro, we're not being fucking
We
nice."
just kind of sat there and like,
We didn't say anything. I think he read that quite well because he just fucked off. Because we were both like, it sucked ass, man. I'm glad you remembered that. I forgot about that. But no, the waiter was alright. And once you're paying that sort of money anyway, like,
as I said, yeah, the waiting stuff was good. It was quick service. It was efficient, and they can't do anything about the cooks or the
exactly.
crockery or.
So here we are. The question I've been dying to ask you since we got in the car. I think that's everything done with the restaurant, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got nothing to say.
Oh, I've got something to say. The fucking toilets.
Oh, they're a bit.
The toilets were fine. Wash your hands. Try and use that fucking hand dryer.
Bloody asthmatic, blowing through a straw.
It was like,
I gave up, wiped my hands on my jeans and just.
yeah, same.
Use the
Same. I
sanitizer
just
on the
wiped
table.
my hands on my trousers as well. It was like, just give me a fucking towel or something. It was a god-awful hand dryer. Oh, we didn't talk about the music.
Oh,
Theo.
the music.
Theo, the fucking... I think that's why when we sat down as well, I was like, fuck that.
Yeah. And I wonder if they're playing different music downstairs. It seemed like nicer down there.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, oh, the scum is upstairs. Get the Radio 1 playlist.
It was like fucking...
Absolute radio.
rock music.
Yeah, like sweet licks, fast paces. It was like, what?
It was seriously, who the fuck put this on?
I think there's one song that's alright. That's kind of a funky bass line and
But
slow dulcet tones.
yeah. Us initially sitting down with that like rock,
Like, fucking hell.
coming out of this fucking that was really bad.
Bloody Kent.
Man, that was bad. And I think again that just lent to the atmosphere as well. Just
That
being like,
lowered the
fucking hell.
tone at no end.
So all things considered, the scores on the doors.
I was disappointed, particularly for that price. 307.
Nice. Okay, we're in the same ballpark. Yeah. So yeah, a couple of phenomenal bits. On the whole, just looks over sustenance and all the things we've just complained about. I'm looking at I was going to say 300. So around the same. Disappointing.
I don't know what the Michelin inspector was thinking.
Or 3 AA Rosettes. That's a lot as well.
I don't know if they're good at spotting them and they give them the good stuff hidden out at the back. But that,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I'm just going to say 300 on the nose. Disappointing. Unfortunate. Really was.
Disappointing evening.
First and last time I'm going to Tunbridge Wells.
Yeah.
touch hard.